When I got out of juvie, I saw Wendy's mutilated body. The word whore was carved all over her. By the time she was sent to the funeral home, neither Mark nor Jacob had shown up. Only Lily stayed with me, gently patting my shoulder. Zoe, your mom's death is actually a good thing. Logan Hayes has not only dropped the charges against you, but he's also agreed to give you $1 million in compensation. Just sign the settlement agreement and start a new life in another city. That's when I learned the truth. Logan Hayes had found out I pushed his daughter down the stairs and threatened to break both my legs. Wendy sent me to juvie, then took it upon herself to apologize to Logan Hayes on my behalf. She ended up being brutally tortured to death. Actually, Wendy and I didn't have a good relationship. During those 3 days locked up in juvie, I thought of 100 ways to fight her when I got out. So facing her memorial photo, I could actually smile. Did Wendy deserve to die? Lily touched her nose. The Hayes family has wealth that rivals nations and power that reaches the heavens. A single human life means nothing to them. There's no should or shouldn't. My smile didn't change. Then she didn't deserve to die. If Wendy didn't deserve to die, then the Hayes family needs to pay for her life. Lily's expression turned stern. Zoe Mitchell, you want to go after Serena Hayes again? Don't forget, your mom died trying to atone for your sins. What right do you have to fight against Serena? I lowered my lashes, hiding the coldness in my eyes. Not just Serena. I want every single member of the Hayes family's life. I took the settlement agreement, glanced at it, then tore it into shreds. Then I went to the closet in Wendy's bedroom and dug out an inconspicuous little box. I tucked it into my jacket and headed for the door. Lily blocked my path. Zoe Mitchell, I don't know what you're trying to pull. Wendy was heartless enough to send you to juvie, yet you want to risk your life fighting the Hayes family for her? With this toy-like little box? How stupid. You'd be better off doing what Mark and Jacob did, sign the settlement and take the $1 million. Using Wendy's life to get a fresh start. Isn't that worth it? I asked myself the same question. Was it worth it? Mark and Jacob definitely thought it was very worth it. Since I got home, I haven't seen them once. They didn't ask which funeral home Wendy was sent to or when the cremation would be. The 2 pinned profile pictures in our family chat sat there like they were dead. If Wendy knew that her death only benefited these 2 cold-blooded animals, would she ever be able to rest in peace? Faced with my undisguised mockery, Lily uncomfortably avoided my gaze. But you're still here, aren't you? Being able to help you settle things with the Hayes family makes it worth it. She'd probably come on the Hayes family's orders, doing everything possible to get me to sign the settlement. She pushed her phone in front of me. Zoe, you need to be more reasonable. Actually, Wendy's death has no direct connection to the Hayes family. IT was just an accident. You're just an ordinary student. Don't go up against the Hayes family. If you don't believe me, watch the surveillance footage Serena sent. When Serena left, Wendy was still alive. I tapped the video open. In the footage, the woman knelt before a girl 20 years younger than herself, begging her not to hold it against me. Then, after Serena left laughing, she slowly pressed her head to the ground and never lifted it again. I dragged the progress bar back and forth several times. Serena cut Wendy 187 times. Lily's hand trembled, goosebumps breaking out on her arm. What are you talking about? I counted. Serena cut her at least 187 times. I lowered my lashes, hiding the darkness in my eyes. The injuries on her body were definitely more than what showed on the surface. They said Wendy died of a heart attack, but she actually died from the pain. She was so stupid. Usually she'd hit me or scold me. If I ate one more piece of Jacob's fried chicken, she'd twist my ear. But when it came to something life-threatening, she'd rather send me to juvie than let me go herself. And she let Serena abuse her without running away. All just to hear those words. Fine, then I'll let your daughter go. Even when she was covered in wounds from the torture, she was smiling. I had just dragged the progress bar back several times. I saw her collapse on the ground, struggling several times, but unable to get up. Before she died, there was no light left in her eyes, her lips constantly moving. Even though there was no sound, I recognized what she was saying. "Zoe, I'm sorry. Zoe, don't avenge me. Zoe, run away." She really was a complete and utter fool. I traced my fingers across her pale face on the screen. "Wendy, when have I ever listened to you? Don't worry, I won't run. There's no reason in this world for a murderer to live peacefully. I'll make the Hayes family pay with their blood." Lily's whole body trembled. She quickly snatched her phone back. Even her voice was shaking. "Are you crazy? Going after the Hayes family is suicide. You're going to throw away the rest of your life for a dead person?" I gripped the little wooden box in my hand. If this was 3 days ago, I really wouldn't have had any way to deal with the Hayes family. But now it's different. I pushed past her hand and hailed a cab to the Hayes estate, not letting Lily see the cold gleam in my eyes. She'd witnessed Serena's bullying of me at school for 3 years without stopping it once. Now she wanted to smooth things over and force me to give up investigating Wendy's death. Once I dealt with the Hayes family, I wouldn't let her off either. The car slowly stopped. The Hayes family villa loomed before me. Someone in a security uniform came over and knocked on the window. "What do you want? Got an appointment? You think you can just barge in? If you don't have an appointment, fuck off." It was actually Mark. He'd taken the $1 million, but instead of going off to enjoy himself somewhere else, he became a security guard at the Hayes estate. Well, I suppose the Hayes family wouldn't let these people who knew the truth run around loose. Keeping them under their noses was safer. I got out of the car. Mark's expression froze on his face, then twisted into surprise. "How is it you? Oh, I get it. You're here for that $1 million, right? Let me set up an appointment with the butler for you." I held the wooden box in my hand. "I'm looking for Logan Hayes." Mark's face instantly changed. He reached out to cover my mouth. "Are you crazy? You think you can just say Mr. Hayes' name like that? Be careful, or you won't get a single penny. You really think you're somebody important?" I sneered. "Logan Hayes and his daughter killed your wife, yet you don't even dare say his name. If you want to be a dog, be one yourself. Don't drag me into it." Mark's face instantly turned red. The veins on his temples stood out clearly. If we were at home, his palm would have already slapped my face. At the Hayes estate, he still maintained basic decorum. The other security guard in the gatehouse couldn't sit still anymore. He grabbed a baton and ran in front of me. "Zoe Mitchell, calling our dad a dog, where are your manners? Mom died because you offended Serena. I haven't settled accounts with you yet, and now you're questioning us?" Jacob straightened his security uniform, looking all righteous and proper. Seeing once again what cold-blooded scum this father and son were, I couldn't help cursing Wendy in my heart again for being a fool. This father and son clearly knew Serena was bullying me at school, yet they never stood up for me. That would have been one thing. We never had any real family affection anyway, but they enjoyed Wendy's care every single day. Mark's shop lost nearly $10,000 a month, and Wendy filled the gap by working as a housekeeper and doing odd jobs. Jacob stayed home playing games every day, and Wendy had to bring meals to his room. Yet knowing Wendy was tortured to death by Serena, they still chose to come to the Hayes estate and be their guard dogs, bowing and scraping and wagging their tails at them. I wonder if Wendy saw this scene. Would she regret it? I tested them one last time. "Mark, Jacob, I haven't signed the settlement agreement yet. Come with me to the police station now and tell them everything." "Mark, I can let go of the wrong things you did before." Mark froze. His eyes darted around, a flash of guilt quickly passing through his pupils. But before he could say anything, Jacob rushed over and kicked me in the stomach. "Zoe Mitchell, I'm warning you, Dad and I are doing great now. even working as security at the Hayes estate. We're living the high society life. You want to ruin our good days? Don't even think about it. And you want to see Mr. Hayes? Believe it or not, I could kill you right now and no one would dare say anything. Mark calmed down too, crossing his arms and raising his eyebrows at me. Zoe Mitchell, be smart. Take the money and work as a maid at the Hayes estate. Think about it when Wendy was alive. Could you eat lobster and premium steak for every meal? The moment Wendy died, our good days arrived. What does that tell you? It tells you Wendy was a curse on our family of 3. He crouched down and grabbed my arm. Zoe, if you don't want to be a maid, that's fine too. As long as you let the Hayes family put a tracker on you and promise never to go to the police. His face was still full of longing for the good life. Then his expression suddenly froze, followed by an inhuman wail. That piercing sound almost made Jacob wet his pants. He mustered his courage and pinned Mark's body down. Only then did he discover both eyes were streaming blood. I'd blinded him. Jacob's face turned ashen. Are you insane? You believe I won't call the police? I pulled my lips into a smile. Go ahead and call them. Doesn't the Hayes family say they can smooth over anything for their daughter? What do you mean? Mark's pig-like screaming brought everyone out of the villa. A servant suddenly pointed at my face and shouted, Look, doesn't she look familiar? Her shout drew everyone's eyes to my face. Soon someone recognized me. Isn't this the person Miss had conflict with? I remember her last name is Mitchell. She's not here to extort money because of her mom, is she? The first maid kept shaking her head. No, I mean, her appearance looks very familiar. She looks like Mr. Hayes. The entire atmosphere froze for a moment. The butler standing at the front frowned deeply. Don't talk nonsense. But his hand quickly grabbed the intercom. Sir, please come to the entrance. This matter may require your personal attention. My heart lifted uncontrollably, even though I'd long stopped expecting any family affection from the Hayes family. This was the first time I would meet my biological parents. Who would have thought I was the real daughter of the Hayes family? I was the biological daughter of this couple who didn't consider human lives as lives. I only found out about this the night before Wendy sent me to juvie. I heard Wendy arguing with Mark through suppressed sobs. No, we can't let Zoe go to the Hayes estate. Aren't you afraid your dirty deeds will be discovered by the Hayes family? If Logan Hayes discovers you switched his daughter with yours and that his biological daughter has been bullied by your daughter all along, what do you think he'll do? Let me tell you, you and Jacob will both die. My brain went blank. I heard every word clearly. I recognized every word, but strung together in sentences I couldn't understand. Mark paced in place like a caged animal. Then what do we do? Serena specifically demanded Zoe come apologize. She's angry and wants to vent. If Zoe doesn't go, we'll die anyway. Besides, it's been so long now. How could Mr. Hayes possibly recognize that's his daughter? Don't be so paranoid. After saying this, he viciously shoved Wendy. Look at what you gave birth to. Now she's playing the young lady with such a temper. I wanted to claim kinship with her, but now there's no chance of that. It wasn't until I heard this that I finally understood completely. I really was Logan Hayes' daughter. Years ago, Mark had switched us, letting her assume my identity as the Hayes family's young lady, leaving me at the Mitchell house to be a blood bank for his son. Those moments I'd missed, those confusing scenes, came flooding back from the depths of my memory one by one. Mark probably never thought that I actually looked a lot like Logan Hayes. That's why when Serena first saw me, she showed uncontrollable panic. Then, using the excuse that I'd dirted her shoes, she slapped me over a dozen times. She didn't want to see my face. She found trouble with me at school day and night. Sometimes it was because I scored a few more points than her, sometimes because I said one sentence to her desk mate. Only when my face was black and blue, almost unrecognizable, would she be satisfied. Everyone knew. Logan Hayes doted on his only daughter. Everyone knew. Logan Hayes always sought revenge. Actually, I thought about it. As long as I solved the problem with Serena, I wouldn't need to acknowledge the Hayes family. The harm the Hayes family had done to me couldn't be erased by blood relations. And I remembered how guilty Wendy's eyes looked every time she saw me. Since childhood, she was the only person who was good to me. I didn't notice then how Wendy's expression gradually became determined. Before I could react, she sent me to juvie. 3 days passed. Wendy died. Died at Serena's hands. I looked at Logan Hayes walking out the door. I have something to say to you. Logan Hayes's eyebrows didn't move at all. His face showed no expression, but his presence commanded respect. I didn't miss the flash of astonishment in his eyes. Serena held his arm, her face almost bloodless. I directed my gaze at her. After killing Wendy, can you really sleep at night? I didn't believe she hadn't guessed my identity. Didn't believe she hadn't guessed the relationship between her and Wendy. Logan Hayes's eyes filled with disgust. You're the one who pushed Shannon and made her fall down the stairs. What? You came to my house to cause more trouble for my daughter. Your mother's death was an accident. $1 million is the highest sincerity I can offer. If you want more money, forget it. After speaking, he glared at the butler with displeasure. He put his arm around Serena to return to the house. I stepped forward, blocking Serena's path. A debt must be repaid, and a murder must be paid for with a life. I don't want your money. I want Wendy's life. Both Logan Hayes and Serena froze, as if they'd heard the biggest joke. Jacob rushed forward to grab my shoulder. Are you sick? You just blinded my dad, and I haven't settled that with you yet. I'm your elder brother, and I can send you back to juvie. I spat at him viciously. Am I even Mitchell blood? Where does eldest brother like a father come from? My dad is standing right here. Serena's face completely changed. She looked at me with something like panic, pulling on Logan Hayes' hand. Dad, throw her out quickly. I think she's gone crazy. I never want to see her again. Logan Hayes was heartbroken. He pulled her into his embrace. Okay, if you don't want to see her, you won't. Trust me. If I want, I can make sure she never appears within 10 kilometers of us again. The Hayes family's bodyguards understood his implication. They exchanged glances and surrounded me. I knew this was my last chance. If I was expelled by the Hayes family, I would never be able to see Logan Hayes again. Jacob glared at me with resentment, clearly already thinking of 100 ways to teach me a lesson. The moment the Hayes family bodyguards grabbed my wrists, I smashed the little wooden box I'd been holding all along. With a crisp crack, the wooden box shattered into pieces. The contents rolled out and stopped at Logan Hayes' feet. The man merely glanced at it. Then his face changed drastically.